Exactly. First bragging rights of the season. It's an 8-round campaign for them. They've got 3 rounds down in the southwest this year, 5 rounds as part of the WA Sporting Car Club program at carco.com.au Raceway. Vaughan, can I just say as well, it's 11:10 here in Queensland. It's 12:10 on a Sunday morning in the rest of the eastern seaboard parts of the continent, New South Wales, Victoria, the ACT and Tasmania. If you were planning on going to sleep at any point in the next short while, I'd heavily advise against it because this will get the adrenaline pumping for just a little bit longer. Ladies and gentlemen, the XLs always put on a show, but how nice it is that they get to do so under lights on a spectacular Saturday night in the West. Brett Sheriff and Carlos Ambrosio will be your front row. I mean, there's been some cracking scraps, and we'll go through the full grid in just a moment. Of course, that'll come up on screen when timing's ready to launch the session. But the reality of the matter is there's been some cracking scraps beyond that, but it's been hard to take our eyes off that top two. The big story, of course, out of the previous race was Craig Charnley's post-race penalty of 30 seconds. So he'll be on the comeback trail. Cameron, of course, started the day a little bit compromised due to a windshield issue in qualifying. So both the Charlie boys will be trying to at least make something out of what's been a trying day at the office in this third and final race. Try and salvage something to give them something to work with in the remaining 7 rounds of the season. We next see them here at carco.com.au Raceway, of course, on that second weekend of April, which I hesitate to say is only 7 weeks away. It won't take long to come around, given the rate in which this year is flying on by already. Someone said to me earlier today, Vaughan, we're now on the 23rd of February here on the East Coast, but it was the 53rd day of the year, and one must wonder just where on earth that has gone, because that's 1/7 of the year done and dusted already. We've only got 312 days to go. Here comes the course car. That's a good sign that we're about to have cars on circuit here lining up for what should be a scintillating 12 minutes plus 1 lap, the Retrovision WAXL Cup on a Saturday night in prime time. Oh, what a fascinating scenario we've got on our hands, mate. I'm excited.
Yeah, certainly are, and the timesheet has just popped up on our screen, so it will be Sheriff and Ambrosio on the front row. And something a little bit unique here is that pole 1, or P1, is on driver's right, which is the dirty side of the racetrack. So being on the front row, I would more prefer to be with Carlos Ambrosio on the outside, over on the commentary side of the racetrack. And second row will be Zane Rhodes in car number 73. Alongside him will be Jack Caiulo. And we have Tristan Moore in car number 16 doing a great job. Steve McGregor in car number 2. Dave Charnley in 4. Wagner de Souza, who had our on-car camera earlier on in the evening, in car number 25. Then Nathan Seaton, Harrison Perez, Dean Hill slipping down the order after race number 2. Noah Byrne in car number 11. And then we have Cove in car number 39. Craig Charnley in car number 51. So there you go. He's probably lost around about 10 positions with that 30-second penalty being applied. Then William Panizza in car number 9. Cam Charnley in car number 5. Hasty, then Cooper, Robert Tune, Clamp, Ward, Cove, John Schultz down there in 99. And rounding out the field is Darren Seaton and Wesley Lay in car number 27. So a huge field. And just down here in the dummy grid, they're about 4 or 5 spots away from filling the dummy grid. And I think we're licensed for around about 28 cars here for the Night Masters. So, that would indicate we have around 24 or 25 Hyundai XLs making their way out onto the circuit. The leader out there, Brett Sheriff, at the moment, he's up into turn 3 at the moment, and they are still filing past me in the commentary box at the start-finish line.
And what we also need to probably try and seek some clarification on, Vaughan, is the fate of the 2 or 3 cars that pulled up lane in the previous race, namely, Seaton never came home, nor did Cove, Ward Lear or Ferreira. Now, Ferreira was the non-starter, so it's a case of working out whether Ward and Cove have been able to get back out there, and that'll become clearer as the cars form up on the grid. You asked me last time whether I was game enough to call it. I wasn't, but given that it's all square at the moment, and it all hinges on this race, Ambrosio grabbed the early bragging rights, and then Brett Sheriff responded in race 1. Ambrosio has responded in race 2. Who prevails in race 3, do you think?
I don't know. As I was just saying that Carlos will be starting on the clean part of the racetrack, but that's not optimum for the entry into turn number 1. So Brett Sheriff will have that advantage down into turn number 1 if he can run side by side with Carlos. But Brett Sheriff will start on the dirty side, the inside of the racetrack, driver's right as they come across the stripe. So I don't know, mate. It's 50-50. I'm not prepared to stick my neck out. Nah, I'm just not going to do it, mate. Sheriff or Ambrosio. There you go.
That's it. And I mean, let's not rule out Zane Rhodes either. He kept those blokes honest in the last couple of laps there once we did get back underway after a lengthy safety car intervention. If it goes green all the way, can he go with them for the duration? We're about to find out. Here they come, lining up in position now on the grid, ladies and gentlemen. This promises to be absolutely compelling and must-watch motor racing for you. Early on a Sunday morning on the East Coast, late on a Saturday night on the West and in central parts as well. A huge weekend of motorsport in this country with events happening at state level, national level, international level with the opening round of the World Superbikes as well. But this is one of the more spectacular sights you're going to see tonight, and that is Hyundai XL Racing, the Korean Pocket Rockets, the Retrovision WA XL Cup. There they are, lining up in position. It looks as though we've got 99% of the field lining up for this one. 12 minutes plus 1 lap, of which we've already burnt a good 3 minutes right on cue. And the green stick is in the hands of the official here. It's waving. Let's go. Lights will be on any tick of the clock, and then we'll turn wheels in anger for a good 10 minutes here, ladies and gentlemen. Sheriff or Ambrosio, the start is key. Let's go to work.
Yeah, it's a very close start, but I think Brett Sheriff will take the ascendancy down into turn number 1 for the first time. Carlos backs out and decides to get in the boot lid and start to get a bit of a tow around the 2.41 CARCO Raceway here on your Saturday night. As Sheriff and Ambrosio starting to drive away already from Zane Rhodes in car number 73. And behind him will be the grey car of Jack Caiulo, car number 7. And we have Tristan Moore, Steve McGregor out there in the Napa Autos car. Then Dave Charnley, Wagner de Souza having another good start. And watch and see whether Wagner comes forward. Currently sitting in about P7 at the moment. And we'll see whether we get somebody. And one of the Charnley cars has disappeared into the abyss on the top of turn number 5. That's car number 4, Dave Charnley. He was in P7 at the time of that loop, but yeah, he has come across, or maybe had some contact. He's a fair way down towards the turn 6 entry, but he's up and running again. No yellow flag, so it's touch ball play on, and Brett Sheriff holding the lead over Carlos Ambrosio by 3 car lengths as they go across the stripe. Then we go back to Zane Rhodes in car 73 and Jack Caiulo. Tristan Moore going defensive now on the way down into turn number 1. Comes from driver's right into the middle of the racetrack to get all defensive on the entry into turn number 1. He's holding off Wagner de Souza, who's moved up into P6. So de Souza in 25. He is the mover at the moment with Steve McGregor.
He's the mover of the day. He's just kept on climbing up the ladder as the day has unfolded. It's impressive considering how many laps were neutralised for in the second race. 4 and 2 they come. Minus you see up to 12, coming back to 15th now. 6 3/4 minutes left on the clock. Can Zane Rhodes latch back onto the tail of Carlos Ambrosio? The answer is yes, as they come out of turn 6 and up over the crest once more. The run down the hill. It looks as though Rhodes is leaving Caiulo ever slightly gradually behind here. Ambrosio has a bow peep down the inside of Sheriff and then tucks back in. Back to the main straight we go. the better part of 6-7 laps to go here at carco.com.au Raceway. Should we go green every step of the way? We'd love to see that. The Retrovision WAXL Cup, Zane Rhodes the fastest lap of the race at 12-1.
Yeah, Zane Rhodes has tapped right onto these two out in front. So there's a three-car battle now for the lead. They seem to have driven away from Jack Caiulo in car number 7 as they come out of the darkness into the lights and then back into the darkness again here for turn number 4. Zane Rhodes, a 55.24 last time in intermediate 2, and also took out fast time in intermediate 1 as well. That gave him a 1 minute 12.1. He's 2 seconds of a second quicker than Ambrosio and 0.3 of a second quicker than Brett Sheriff last time around the 2.41 kilometre circuit here at CARCO Raceway. Currently coming out of turn number 7 at the moment and all over the back of Brett Sheriff as they crest the top of the hill. It's Ambrosio and Rhodes. Looks like he's right into the boot lid of Ambrosio. Sheriff getting away by 2 or 3 car lengths, but under brakes, Ambrosio fights back in car number 1. Still in second position, but having to worry about Sheriff in front and Zane Rhodes in P. Oh, sorry, Zane Rhodes has actually got in front of Ambrosio. And here's another move on for the lead here. That'll be Rhodes down the inside of Brett Sheriff. Side by side on the exit out of turn number 1. Sheriff to the outside, Rhodes to the inside, and then Ambrosio as well. First class, top rocks racing here as Brett Sheriff will have the line into turn number 4. Rhodes getting hung out wide, and that's going to give Ambrosio another sniff as they go across the right-hander. They're side by side. It's Rhodes and Ambrosio. What a fantastic motor race.
How good's this on a Saturday night? I told you I wouldn't be disappointed, Australia. Zane Rhodes, youthful exuberance, no holds barred, now trying down the inside of Brett Sheriff at turn 6. Tucked back in. He'll be in the slipstream from the run down the back straight. The up and under from Ambrosio is on as well. They're going to be side by side. The battle for second. Can Brett Sheriff hold on as these two opt to take advantage of the slipstream and try and reel him in? The 3-time champ leads the defending champ, leads a young star on the rise. He's Zane Rhodes around the outside of Ambrosio at turn 7. He's hung out into no man's land as they come back across the strike. Oh, this is fascinating stuff. No fear from the youngster.
Now Ambrosio slides underneath Zane Rhodes and regains second position. So if these guys could just stop fighting and try and take it up to Brett Sheriff. Brett Sheriff's moved out now by 25 metres on Carlos Ambrosio and Zane Rhodes. And look at the gap now between Rhodes and Jack Caiulo. That has definitely closed because these two are fighting amongst themselves instead of working together to get on the tail of Brett Sheriff as they disappear into the darkness up and over the top of the hill here at CARCO Raceway. A fantastic motor race in front of us right now. Brett Sheriff has the lead from Zane Rhodes and Ambrosio fighting for second. Caiulo in 4th, Tristan Moore in 5, and Wagner de Souza moving up into 6. And I reckon he's got to be a candidate for the Competition Drivers Club Driver of the Day for Wagner de Souza in car number 25 as our leaders up and over the top of the hill and down into the hard braking zone into turn number 7. It looks like it's still Zane Rhodes in second, Ambrosio in third as they try and do something about car number 514 of Brett Sheriff.
Across the line, Ambrosio responds with an 11.93, the fastest lap of the race. How about that?
Only 0.6 of a second away from the lap record, Zach. 0.6 of a second away.
Held by Zane Rinaldi, of course, when he was over there in Nationals Prep in 2023. The only argument I'm going to mount to your nomination of Souza is if Zane Rhodes can go from 3rd to 1st in the remaining 2 3/4 minutes here and get this job done. Through turn 5, on the run down to 6. Sheriff has been filled in by Ambrosio and Rhodes is there as well, but it's a matter of how late you leave your run. Time is running out. They're going to have 3 laps at the line based on time certainty. 1 minute 55, so that's going to be 1, 2, maybe 3 if we're lucky, depending upon when they get back to the strike. Whatever the case, it's less than 10 kilometres separating one of these 3 men in race victory and Ambrosio or Sheriff from round on as well. But what a statement it would be. Ambrosio to the inside. Down the inside, the defending champion looks to go back to the front. Here comes Rhodes in the middle. Who's going to be picking in the middle on the run down to turn 1? Ambrosio and Rhodes on the inside. Sheriff on the outside. All of a sudden, the number 514 is being hung out to dry. Here comes Rhodes to the inside. Sheriff right around the outside. And Ambrosio holding on. And Sheriff put 2 wheels in the dirt. Rhodes to second.
Fantastic racing as Ambrosio takes the lead now from Sheriff in second and Zane Rhodes back into third. Fast time up and over the top of the hill is about ready to happen. And as I said, Rhodes into second, Sheriff into third now, as these 3 cars are really starting to get away. Even though they're fighting, these 3 are moving away from Jack Criollo in car number 7 as we look for a move on again. And it's Rhodes down the inside of Carlos Ambrosio down into 6 and takes the lead. And Brett Sheriff is in there as well. He's going to try and do the over and under on Carlos Ambrosio. They both exit side by side on the way out of turn number 6. Up and over the hill, it's car 73 of Zane Rhodes, and these 2 side by side, Ambrosio and Sheriff. Ambrosio to the driver's left, and Sheriff up the inside into second place, dislodges Ambrosio back to third, and Ambrosio will take a curb strike there as they come across the line. It's still Zane Rhodes from Brett Sheriff and Carlos Ambrosio in third.
And Sheriff to the inside, holding off Ambrosio, still within reach of Rhodes. We got back to the line with time on our sleeve, up our sleeve to spare, I should say. I'll spit the words out if I'm like him. And it's 2 laps to go. This and one more. Can Zane Rhodes pull off the victory here and hold off one of the stalwarts of WA and National Australian Excel Racing competition in Brett Sheriff, the 3-time champion? What a milestone moment this would be for the youngster who's had performances down at Collie in other rounds of the championship in the West. But he's, of course, looking for that elusive win here at CARCO.com.au Raceway. They've got some lap traffic to contend with as well. Here they go, side by side. Sheriff got the run out of turn 6. He'll have the run down the hill. Ambrosio wants a piece of that as well. Down the inside, Rhodes to the outside. He's the one hung out to dry this time by Ambrosio. Sheriff, let's pick them up as they come back onto the main straight. We wait. It'll be the last lap. They're all out wide in no man's land. In a moment, they'll be 3 wide if we're not lucky. And
across the stripe. Yeah, across the stripe it was Zane Rhodes.
They're going to check it.
Sheriff goes out really wide around turn number 1, and that's allowed Ambrosio back into second place now. So Rhodes by 3 car lengths over Ambrosio. And, sorry, that's Sheriff out in front, then Ambrosio, and then Rhodes. So how this is chopping and changing nearly every corner. We've got a lead change. So we'll wait and see. This could be the, sorry, that is the checkered flag. So getting all excited there. I can't even see the checkered flag being waved from where we are. But your winner.
Neither can I.
Will be
and it
car
looks
number
as though everyone else is still
514.
Haven't seen it either.
Brett Sheriff takes the win here.
On that green.
Yeah, Brett Sheriff takes the win in car number 514 from 73 of Zane Rhodes. A great drive to get over the top of the current state champion in Carlos Ambrosio. Jack Criollo finishes in a credible 4th. Tristan Moore in 5. Wagner de Souza has to settle for 6. A hard charger of the day for sure. Steve McGregor in 7. Dean Hill in 8. Noah Byrne in 9. And Craig Charnley, car number 51, rounds out our top 10. And that has been race of the day by far.
By the length of the Nullarbor. Brett Sheriff, Carlos Ambrosio, Zane Rhodes. So our timing screen went check, it then went back to green. So there was a bit of confusion there, and it's been called at the end of lap 9. Sheriff for Ambrosio, 0.1 the margin, and Rhodes relegated to third on that final lap. But what a statement-making drive from the youngster, a name to watch for the balance of the campaign. And it's Brett Sheriff's night in the West. The 3-time champ wins the opening round of the season, the CARCO.com.au Night Masters at CARCO.com.au Raceway in Wanneroo. What a superb statement from the champ, looking for title number 4 this year on the back of national exploits last year, and that just whets the appetite for so much more. We cannot wait to see them back on track here in April. And they've just sent a statement to the rest of the paddock. All the other categories, Vaughan, top that.
Fastest lap of that race was a 1:11.9, which was only 0.6 of a second away from the lap record held by Zane Rinaldi out of Queensland, and that was set in the daytime. during a warm-up campaign for the XL Cup Nationals that were held here late or early last year. And to do that time at night time is a fantastic effort. A 12 flat for Rhodes and a 12-1 was the best for Brett Sheriff. So those three definitely king of the kids this weekend here at the CARCO Night Masters, which is round number 1 of the 2025 West Australian Sporting Car Club Racing Championship.